Hey guys, Pastor Eric here from Alpine in Brigham, and I get to introduce today someone who we recently brought on staff. His name is Mike London. He's going to be the associate teaching pastor here at our campus, and also he's going to help out with the youth as we start to develop that out. But I am just so excited. He has been here with us for a little over 7 years. As an overseer, he served on many different teams, and he has been very faithful and loyal. He loves the mission of Alpine Church. He wants to help people pursue God. He loves the Word of God, and he wants people to come to know Jesus. So let me introduce to you my dear friend, Mike London.
All right, thanks, Eric. I appreciate that. Growing up, I was in the church from a young age. I was saved at around 9 or 10 years old, and my faith was really important to me as a teenager. But then in my 20s, I kind of drifted away from it a little bit. I became a police officer, and I really found my identity in my new job. I lived and breathed it. It was everything in my life, and I felt like I was pretty good at it, and I enjoyed my position in the community. But then in 2008, I was involved in a critical incident. And in the months and years after that, I was involved in a couple of similar incidents. And from that, I had a post-traumatic stress diagnosis. And I started to notice that I was not handling it very well. And over the coming years, it got worse. And you wouldn't have known it on the outside, but inside, I wasn't doing so great. I was struggling with fear and anxiety and a lot of anger. I realized that I had begun praying to God that I would be killed in the line of duty. And that was the point when I really realized that it was time to hang it up. And I really needed to get something else, something healthier in my life. And so I sat there in my car one day, and I was thinking back on these lessons I had learned as a kid in church about God's faithfulness and His love for me, and I believed it. And I kind of just shouted out. I didn't kind of shout out. I shouted out to God that I believed He was faithful, and I believed that He loved me, but that I expected Him to come through, and I wanted to see results. And right then and there, I rededicated my life back to God. My wife, who wasn't a believer at the time, told me that if I was going to trust that God was going to take care of our family, that God needed to be the center of our family. And she handed me an invitation card. It was an invitation to an Easter service at Alpine Church in Brigham City, celebrating their 1-year anniversary. And so 2 or 3 days later, we went to Alpine Church for the first time on Easter morning. And after the service, when we left, we were driving out of the parking lot. My wife was in tears, and all she could say was that Jesus was in that room. And we loved it. And we decided to go back the following week, and the week after that, and every week since for the last almost 7 years. What I realized was that my identity never had anything to do with that badge on my chest, but it was all about the blood on that cross. Ultimately, what I've come to find is that I want to be able to share my faith and my story with people, and I love having the opportunity to do that and to see what God's got in store for me. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I sure am excited for His plans.